Welcome back to Hidden Treasure. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Brad, and today we're going to be talking about gratitude.
But anyway, so what do you want to say about gratitude today, Brad?
Yeah, so to me, gratitude is very important, and it's important because it gives me a starting point on this journey of enlightenment. When I'm thankful and appreciative, and I'm counting my blessings, and starting out in the morning, then my whole day goes well.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that, and I've found that being it's every day, trying to be consistent with it. Maybe if it's just one thing, like I'll ask myself now, what are you grateful for today, Jimmy? Could be my health, could
Right.
be my job,
Hmm.
just my wife, my kids. There's always something we can be grateful for.
Oh, definitely. And when you're in that frame of mind, you don't get caught up on the little things that can trip you up during the day, the distractions, the drama. Life's going to throw us curveballs, but when we're in that state of gratitude, the way we react to those situations is night and day different than if we're not.
That's for sure. And I got a little note here focusing on what is good in our life and what we appreciate, is really what we're talking about here, isn't it?
That's right. Focusing on the positive, what's good, um, and being able not only to be thankful, but be able to project that out. So when you're in that state of mind, you're going to be putting out kindness and love and acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're all on the same journey, right? We're trying to discover the truth. But for me, what helps me to connect with my hidden treasure is that first part, is just being grateful, being thankful, and it's a big picture approach because you see the big. You're not caught up on just something small that you're focusing all your attention on. You're looking at the big, and you're in amazement. You're in wonder at all of God's creations.
And I'll tell you what else. Just listen to you. I'll tell you what you're not. You're not focused on what's going bad in your life
That's right.
or what's challenging.
Right.
You're actually taking your attention and putting it on something good, which is what we're trying to get across to everybody is very important.
That's right. And you focus on other people. You
Besides yourself.
That's right. You
Yeah.
become more thoughtful. You just become more of a giving servant uh, type attitude with your actions, your thoughts, and feelings.
Right. It's just, well, really, we've learned that, it's easy to let other people steal your joy. It's just appreciation, gratitude. It's all one and the same, isn't it?
It is.
And it's positive thoughts, feelings. And one of the things we're trying to help anyone that's interested see and realize is what you feed the mind grows. That's just a little reminder. And that's why gratitude, like Brad just mentioned, is so important because you're feeding the mind positive energy, positive thoughts, and you're not focused on yourself and what you don't like.
That's right. So Jimmy's done a lot of research and really a lot of the topics that we're covering. So gratitude is related to what characteristic?
Love,
Love. That's
right?
right. And so, hidden treasure is all about love. It's that it's
All
that
about it.
it's that light. It's that love inside of us. And so,
Joy.
man, I tell you, when you start to really think about gratitude, when you start to think about um, how appreciative we are, what we have, what you mentioned earlier, but what are some of the things that come to mind that you really sit back and you're like, good golly, I've been blessed.
Oh God, that's the job I have. Now that I'm retired, but yet I needed to keep working because I didn't plan well for retirement. I was back in my days when I was lost, and so. But I got a wonderful job I'm doing now. My family, my wife, my kids,
Grandkids,
I got a bunch of them, and I love
right,
them all. They're great, and
right,
this house, and just my health.
yeah,
That's really big to me. If you
right.
don't have your health, boy, you're in trouble.
I agree. I mean, there's so many things we take for granted, but our health is one of them. And we're
Hmm.
going to talk. We're going to have an episode about these bodies of ours and some good things there. But yeah, so the health. So how about all the senses? We have we can touch, we can hear, we can see, we can taste, we can smell to experience this wonderful world.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guilty of taking these things for granted. But when I sit down and think about it, um, I read an article last night about a former wrestler that was in the rink. It was a pre-recorded show,
Mm-hmm.
and took a fall. It was just accidental. All these maneuvers and moves they
Come,
do.
yeah.
They're planned. They're orchestrated, and one of the guys he was wrestling didn't have a grip on him, and he twisted a little bit wrong. Anyway, he broke some vertebrae, and he
Mm.
was paralyzed from the neck down
Ooh.
for 20 years, and he recently passed away. I mean, think about that. Whatever kind of mood you're in, whatever kind of bitterness, resentment, anger, conflict you're feeling, um, think about not having some of the incredible um, God-given health abilities we have, and you're blind,
Right.
or you can't hear, you can't speak. Maybe you don't have your limbs. Now there are people uh, that are in situations like this, uh, and not saying that it's the end of the world, um, because if you lost your right arm, you still have your left, right?
Mm-hmm. You can
And
adapt, can't you?
right, you can adapt, but it's just about being thankful to your Creator that made you and gave you these wonderful opportunities day in and day out. Because we're not guaranteed tomorrow, and our
Right.
health, these bodies are fragile. So
They're
so health
fragile.
health is definitely one of
Health
the
is a
ones.
big one, and I tell you what else gratitude can do. It can really help your mental health out as far as your mind goes. We can all at time, every last one of us, me, you, everybody,
Mhm.
has their moments where mentally we just kind of have little meltdowns, and we
Right.
get out of sorts. We're uptight, we're angry, we're bitter, frustrated, agitated. We've all had that experience. And when you start thinking about what you're grateful for, that's almost like it's like what is when you antibiotic that attacks the disease.
Right.
It acts like that, and it's almost like just dissolving all the negativity, that darkness, and pushing it out, and light takes its place. Because you can't, if you're grateful, you can't help but feel positive.
It's hard to have negative feelings and emotions when you're in gratitude.
Well, it's pretty much impossible, isn't it?
You can't do both at the
Can't,
same
right?
time.
Just like you can't think two thoughts at the same time. You're either thinking positive, you're thinking negative.
Right.
And so what we found that one of what we're trying to show people, and it's what we're doing, and just join us as we practice. We mentioned this before. It's just to you might say, program and recreate our minds into a more peaceful, joyful, loving, happy-go-lucky, carefree, enjoy our lives kind of mode.
That's right. Exactly. And when we say everybody's on this journey, but we're at different points, and,
Mm-hmm.
and, and it's different for everybody. When Jimmy had his epiphany, that's going to be different from when I had mine and you. But the gratitude, at least for me, if you were going to start out trying to apply something, being in gratitude is huge. I mean,
Yes.
that's to me, that's where it all starts. But it
And
may
it's
be different
simple,
from
isn't
you.
it? It's simple.
It's
There's
yeah.
nothing complicated about gratitude. Just wake up in the morning and think to yourself, hey, what am I grateful for today?
Well, that's true.
Mhm.
And speaking of simple, everything we're talking about simple.
Right.
Now, it may be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life because you're trying to get out your own way, right? But it is simple, and
It
and,
is.
and anybody can do it.
And so what we're doing is working with fundamentals we've learned. And
Hmm.
this is one of them. It's like a fundamental to be grateful.
Right.
And it'll help you get out of your own way, like you just mentioned.
Right.
It's just really learning to make it a habit, isn't it?
Well, I heard this. I think I read it, but a rich man counts his blessings every day, and really what that means to me is that rich is not money, but it's just being in that state of mind where you're so appreciative of what God's giving you. And Jimmy mentioned simple. When you're in gratitude, you don't want a whole lot.
No.
You realize that your needs are being provided for, that you're the luckiest person in the world. I mean, that's the way you feel,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want, and you don't have that desire for material possessions, right?
Right, right. That's just not as important.
Right.
Like it's more like we've mentioned the health. That's oh boy, because hey, when you lose your health and what do you got? Even if
Right.
you got tons of money, money
Yeah.
can't buy health. And
Right.
so yeah, you're right. And it just takes your mind and reframes it, doesn't it?
hmm we mentioned health. That's big. How about relationships?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you look at all the people in your life, your family, your loved ones, your
Mm-hmm.
friends. You really at times you get distracted. And you take those relationships for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And but when you really look at it and you look where you're at, anything positive that's probably come out of your life, somebody was there to help you with that,
Right.
right?
Right. Exactly. We're never. You don't live your life by yourself. And like Brad was saying about relationships, that's I got to agree with you there, and big time. And one of the things that I'm learning to do is be more grateful for my spouse.
Hmm.
Because yeah, we all have something that can get under our skin with our spouses. Their little quirks and things, and we can get, and life can just kind of frustrate us, and we start looking at what they're doing that we don't care for instead of what they do that we love, and that gratitude will help recenter that too. And
It will.
yeah,
Your spouse, your children, your
mm-hmm.
grandchildren.
And be grateful for them the way they are. They don't try to change them. Just
Yeah,
look for the what you love about them.
yeah. It's amazing whenever you have kids that the first child you have, their experience of being
Mm.
your child is different from the second, the third, fourth, and so on. And then if you're fortunate enough to have grandkids, wow, that grandchild's going to see a different person of you, a version of you than you were when you were your first child's parent, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we grow and develop. But I think the older we get, the more appreciative and more grateful we are.
In most cases,
Yeah,
there's some people don't make it, but
yeah.
but the
Well,
people that have it,
true.
yeah, but it's not one size fits all. But yet, gratitude is something that I go back to when I was struggling.
Yeah.
I was too busy focused on what was I was
On
mad
the
about, what was going wrong, and on
yeah,
myself
yeah, yeah.
that I didn't even spend a second of time being grateful for anything.
Right.
I was too mad about what I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
and too focused on that.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we've talked about it before. When you're in gratitude, if for me that's where I start. But
mm-hmm,
you don't have to start here. You start where you need to start. But man, when you're in gratitude, you become extremely aware of your surroundings, of what's going on in your world and your life, and you see the positive, and it blows you away. And so you realize, hey, the sky is not falling, right? You can turn on any news station right now, and you would think this is the worst time in the history of the world. The world's coming to an end. It's not, okay? It's the best time to live in this world. Now, this is just my opinion, but if you want to test it out, go do some primitive camping. Go pick a remote location and go out there for a week. All right.
yeah,
I promise you, when you get back home, when you get in that shower, you are going to appreciate running
with
water,
hot water too.
indoor plumbing. I mean, the things that
uh,
we have today, but that's part of it. So sometimes we've got to step back to gain some appreciation about
mhm.
what we're going through right now.
Well, you're right because we tend to forget this. We tend to forget where we came from, and this
Right.
has been a evolving journey of mankind since the beginning of time. I mean, we're all in this together, and each generation has their own uniqueness and adds to this world. But we've forgotten just what it was like you just brought to our attention.
Right.
That's good because I have done some of that camping,
Yeah.
and believe me, I was glad to be back home.
That's that's as an example that comes to my mind. But
Hmm.
there's a lot of them out there. I mean, if you've ever been in any bad situation or a situation where you didn't feel safe or
Hmm.
things were uncomfortable, man, it feels good to be in a safe, comfortable environment with people that love you and care about you, and it feels like home. And so,
Yep.
and man, you're appreciative of that.
Yeah, and this again, there's so many different ways to look at gratitude, but yet keeping it simple and just thinking each day, what can I be grateful? What am I grateful for today? And just just practice. It's practice.
Mm-hmm.
You maybe not won't be consistent with it at first. Don't beat yourself up. Don't go, God, I can't do it. Those guys got it down, but I can't do it, because believe me, we had to create the habit too, and sometimes it can be challenging.
And like we've said before, you'll never be perfect,
Nope,
but we're all about trying to get better, and
that's
so
right.
that's the key.
We're
And
yeah, we're not focused on being perfect.
right,
If you're looking for somebody to teach you how to be perfect, then we're not your people. We're not your
right.
guys.
But if you do see some results, let us know. And if you see some results, share it with other
Hmm.
people. I mean, that's what this is all about. The only reason we're doing this podcast is to share what we've discovered, and we've got about 120 plus years of experience
Between us.
on this planet. And again, we're not perfect, but we've observed some things that we think will help people. And gratitude is huge.
It's huge. And in closing, would like to say we're very grateful for you tuning in and listening to us.
We are. So if you like this video, please hit like, subscribe to the channel, and then for comments down below, Jimmy, how about just maybe let us know what you're grateful for.
Yeah.
And you don't have to get personal, but if it's something we said here in the video about your health or relationships,
Any kind of reminders.
right? Let us know. I'm grateful for a God, a Creator,
Hmm.
that would give us this wonderful sandbox to play in while we're here on Earth, because there's incredible opportunities to meet new friends and have fun.
And I'm grateful that that creator loves us just the way we are,
Yeah,
because that's one of the biggest transformations in my life, was discovering
right.
that I'm loved. Even though I mess up, I'm still loved, and
A-
that's important.
Amen. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
We're grateful you tuned in.